Hello. Over the past few weeks, I've made a couple of videos that were critical about AI as a concept and as a product. Today, however, I actually want to talk about some things that AI can be good at. So the first thing that I think AI can be useful with is giving you variations on a text that you've written. I'll give you an example. What I've found is that I can use something like ChatGPT, where I say, hey, I've written this, and please give me some variations on what I've written. I'm looking for something that has a persuasive tone, that maybe is pretty direct, and so on. And then ChatGPT will spit out 3 or 4 variations. Now, it's not about picking one of those variations. No, in general, I find each of the variations pretty unsatisfactory on their own. However, where it does get useful is that because of the way that large language models work, their text output is actually pretty systematic, meaning that the variations roughly have the same structure. The ideas come in the same sequence. So what I can do is I can say, I like the beginning of this variation. The middle bit is not good, so I'll look at the next variation and take the middle bit. And then, again, for the conclusion, I'll grab something from somewhere else, or maybe, I think that my original draft was already pretty good. So then I essentially hybridize what the AI is spitting out with my own writing, and then I'll make some changes on top of that. It's a far cry from asking the AI to do something and just taking its output as gospel. Instead, as the name suggests, because many of these products are called Gen AI, generative AI, what's useful is the fact that they can come up with variations that use different synonyms, slightly different turns of phrase, and then you can pick and choose. You need the human to do the picking and choosing, because the AI sucks at that completely. A sort of secondary application of this is with translations. So English is my dominant language, but I also speak French and Spanish pretty fluently. And sometimes I have to work with those languages. So what I could do is just tell, whatever AI solution, translate this text, and then just take the translation as gospel. That's a recipe for disaster. Also, I could just use another translation tool for that. AI doesn't, it's a little bit better in some places, but sometimes also a little bit worse. I'll get to that in a sec. But I apply the same variation strategy. Because I know the languages, I just say, hey, translate this, give me 3 variations. And then what I'll do is, again, just pick and choose. I will say that when it comes to translations, I have found that AI makes grammar mistakes. In French specifically, very recently, it actually didn't use a specific tense, the subjunctive, which is required in the sentence structure that it was proposing. And, for spoken French, that's fine. But for professional communication, it's a showstopper. I was like, that's not right. So then I tweaked it, and then it was fine. You can't trust it to do things on its own. It's going to hallucinate. It's going to make stuff up. For generating variations, it can be useful. The second thing that AI can do pretty well is image upscaling. However, when you ask ChatGPT, or at least when I asked ChatGPT to upscale an image that I had where I asked it to double the resolution, it said, sorry, I can't do it. You need a specialized upscaling solution or app. Since the last time I checked, ChatGPT can't do upscaling. And I'm not talking about just resizing an image. So like say you say, oh, I want it double the size. That's just gonna make it more pixelated. It's not actually adding any extra detail. It's just stretching the image. What AI upscaling does is that it uses the context of the image, again, AI being essentially, as I keep saying, an overpowered autocomplete algorithm, let's say. It does that well with words, but also with pixels, saying, okay, what's the most probable pixel to go next to this one? With a smaller image, if you increase the size, you don't have those intervening pixels, but AI is able to say, well, probably a pixel of this color fits there. Obviously, that is pretty processor intensive, but it can come up with some pretty good solutions. But you need a specialized tool that does that. At the moment, to my knowledge, ChatGPT doesn't do it. The third thing that I think AI is pretty good at, I think that AI-based tools can be actually quite useful to developers. No, I'm not saying that they can replace developers. I'm saying that they can be useful to developers. In the same way that I use ChatGPT in a workplace setting to help me refine my writing, again, not do my writing for me, refine it, give me options so that I can choose from them. I think that something similar is being currently used by many developers with a degree of success, which is to give them different code options, code snippets. Essentially, if they hit a roadblock, they can use an AI assistant to analyze the code so far and give them some possible solutions. Now, are those solutions just plug and play done? Probably very few of them. However, again, having a sort of second point of view, even if it's machine generated, can be useful to get out of a programming pickle, if you will. And there you have it. Those are some things that I've found and that I think that AI can be useful for. Now, are these the life-shattering, society-devastating changes that AI company CEOs are promising? Not in the slightest. They're helpful tools in existing workflows. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.